Hello, my name is Andrew Robinson. I am a student at Husson University Online in the Public Health and Healthcare Administration program. As part of my coursework for EH360, Writing in the Healthcare Professions, I am discussing my healthcare campaign proposal on behavioral cell phone addiction. If you considered the last time you went to the grocery store or used public transportation or really any other time that you've left the house, you would observe that the whole world has built technology into daily infrastructure and routine. It's almost impossible to function in today's world without using a cell phone. At any moment, the knowledge of our world is within our grasp. This has had a lot of really great benefits for humanity, but as with many things, there are some really big downsides. One of those downsides is the risk for behavioral cell phone addiction. Like I said in the last slide, there are many benefits to cell phones becoming so prevalent in our society: increased communication, streamlined processes that used to be kind of mundane and menial. But now there's a growing prevalence of behavioral cell phone addiction. An article titled "The Impact of Smartphone Use on Course Comprehension and Psychological Well-Being in the College Classroom" by Melissa Huey and David Jagir explores this topic in depth. It affirms that everything you might see in the day-to-day, people have their heads buried in their cell phones or become less functional and practical in their day-to-day operation. And cell phone apps are specifically designed to be addictive, and the way that they've been incorporated into our lives contributes to reduced concentration, focus, emotional resiliency, and information retention and memory. This affects college-age students the worst and causes poor academic performance. The following proposal aims to found Hang It Up, an on-campus shared accountability group that will support students in using their phones less and be more invested in their schoolwork. The goal is to get Husson University students to feel better mentally and perform better in and out of class. The burnout from cell phone use is affecting college-age students tremendously. And later, I will review planned interventions and activities of Hang It Up, as well as the cost of operating a movement like this. Hang It Up plans to have this completed by the spring of 2026. If you will, there's 4 steps of this planned intervention. Step 1 is going to be providing educational materials to students. These will be things like putting up posters and banners, handing out brochures, and even fighting fire with fire by using social media to help get the message across. Technology's benefit is that it's a really good medium for communicating and disseminating large amounts of information, and we intend to use that fully. Step 2 is providing students with faculty support. Students already receive a tremendous amount of support from faculty. Husson University advisors do a really nice job of checking in. And as part of that, Hang It Up intends to incorporate the educational material into those meetings with supervisors, RAs, guidance counselors, professors. So that way information is always readily available to people, and it sort of contributes to this improved culture around it. Step 3 is rewrite, or to write in the first place, campus policy and student agreements for technology use. By collaborating with the school to make a campus that promotes healthy cell phone use, there's certain things that can be done, like making common areas more accessible for socialization, banning phone in lectures, hosting screen-free events. And the 4th step is shared student accountability. The best way to quit something is when you have to be accountable for yourself, whether that is under your own autonomy or it's by someone else. It has to be present for change to be made. Shared accountability groups can give the students the space to vent and check in where they are at. Being online all the time can be detaching, and this gives people the chance to tether themselves back to the real life and to stay grounded. This will be more of a network with some planned meetings, but more so a faction of people dedicated to leading a more productive and fulfilling daily life. Hang It Up has 3 goals for their outreach activities. The first goal is to bring awareness to behavioral cell phone addiction. The second goal is to reduce cell phone use that causes negative effects in Husson University students. And the third goal is to support students in building a sustainable pattern of cell phone use behavior that balances their social, entertainment, and academic needs. Raising awareness, taking action, and implementing solutions. It's a grossly oversimplified way to solve an issue. Hang It Up is planning on doing just that, though, by taking note of a problem that needs to be addressed, reducing the problem, and building people back up. This can generate many positive outcomes for the individual and the on-campus community. Consider the pre-pandemic world and how the progeny of the pandemic was isolative behavior and people becoming less grounded. These casual observations and these outreach activities aim to support the reintegration of normal life as the world and our Husson community is still living in the ripples of a major global pandemic. Raising awareness. Behavioral cell phone addiction is a public health issue that nobody's really talking about. If you consider in your own life how you may involuntarily use your cell phone, go to your settings and check your screen time, and it will tell you how many pickups you have on average on a daily basis. You might be surprised to find that you yourself are unaware of this. Hang It Up looks to have people check themselves in their very same way, to take inventory of your actions and how it affects you negatively. And for those who have a healthy relationship with their phone, it may not occur to them that others aren't simply just on their phone because they want to be, but because they're using it to mediate symptoms of anxiety and depression and burnout. Spreading awareness across the board for those struggling and those thriving, and those that live in the middle is going to be crucial. Reducing cell phone use. This is the work where the work really gets done. So how do we do it? Checking in with each other, helping people use evidence-based methods and resource utilization to deal with underlying issues, and help people simply put the phone down through small lifestyle changes. The end goal is practical use, not for total and complete abstinence. The mindless doom scrolling, the overly convenient task completion that turns convenience into a functional crutch, and the detachment from critical thinking skills threaten the well-being of students. So Hang It Up will help students get in with mental health specialists and therapists, give people regular meetings to discuss things, not akin to an NA or a AA meeting, as we want this to be a pro-social thing and not to be associated with chemical addictions. Not for it to be a bad thing, but for it to be easily accessible. Hang It Up will also create a network and a culture of people who want to be better students, friends, and family members, and maybe most importantly, a little kinder to themselves. Doing it right. Abstaining doesn't correct the problem either. It brings its own slew of issues. Have you ever left your cell phone somewhere? You can make it through the day, but it's pretty impractical in 2025 to do that. Helping students understand how to meet their social, entertainment, academic, and other technological needs in a sustainable way can be done by creating the type of people and the type of place that supports that. This will be done through hosting phone-free events, banning cell phone use in lecture halls, and students joining the Hang It Up network. The goal wouldn't be even to have the cell phone not on their person, but to be able to have it on their person to not touch it for a couple of hours. The way that the world's infrastructure is built now revolves around the phone. There can be a potentially dangerous implication for not carrying a phone, like not being able to call 911 quickly enough, or for those missing a mass communication by text, the ones that Husson sends out, for example. Hang It Up does not want to inhibit people in a negative way, but instead embolden them to have autonomy in their behavior each day. Although it's not an incredibly expensive endeavor, Hang It Up does require a budget and funding. All of the printing will be done professionally, which is more expensive, but it's less laborious than students making all of the materials themselves. And it is practical, but it will cost about $150 and $200 respectively for making the poster and other materials. Volunteer and support group supplies come out to about $900. This will cover unexpected petty cash expenses, light refreshments for events, and other unexpected costs like a Hang It Up member needing to use public transportation or other material associated with group activities. Hang It Up will be a volunteer-driven movement, and members will not directly receive financial compensation. In total, this will cost about $1,250.